touches me deep. Your heart is my temple. Your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing on Don't cry no more, my dear. Don't you cry no more. I'll be waiting here, my dear. I'll be at your door. Do you hear me knocking? Do you hear my drum to draw you from your fortress? It's been long.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? We are live on a Tuesday night like we do every Tuesday night. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat already. I saw a bunch of people chiming in there. Make sure you guys hit that like button and share this video. We're going to get right into it because it's late this evening. We're watching Young Lion TV. Let's go.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young lion.
Yes, sir. Young Lion TV, as we do it every Tuesday night. We are live. And we are here, and we are in the Lion's Den, and we're ready to have a conversation about what's been going on in the world. Of course, like we do, I got my brothers with me, and we're going to talk about, the eclipse that just happened. We're going to talk about some other stuff. And, I got to give a shout out to everybody who's the Patreon members, the Young Lions that are in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Rumble right now, make sure you guys drop a comment in there. On Rumble, it's a little weird because I always see the comments after the stream is over. They don't show up for some reason, but hey, we're still trying to figure out the Rumble situation. But if you're on there, Stan, if you're watching, our brother, make sure you drop a comment in there, chime in on the conversation. You had some good comments last week too that I wish we saw during the live stream. But also on Facebook, shout out to Jeffrey. I see you in there. He said, "Hey guys, I be watching."
He always says stuff like that.
Yeah. But let's introduce the crew that's with me this evening. Of course, I got my brother, the coolest Asian in the world, Mr. Simone Chang, in the building.
What's
Got a big day coming up.
Oh yeah.
Got a big day coming up.
Soon.
Excited?
It came so fast.
Everything moves so fast. You excited?
Yeah, I am actually.
Yeah.
Because everybody is like, everybody in our circle, like, yo, I'm so excited for your wedding.
Yeah.
So excited. It's getting me
Yeah.
a little hype.
Yeah, shout out to Jess if she's watching right now. Shout out to Courtney. I see you. Courtney is one of our sister and our Young Lion Patreon member as well.
Hey, Courtney.
She said, "Happy Tuesday, family." Yes, Tuesday is the day. And of course, we got our brother. He's the big brother. He's everybody's big brother. The preacher, the teacher, the people reacher, Mr. Jacob Eugene Evans III.
He's got the real messengers.
The real messengers. And it's funny because we were talking about, I forget who we were talking about it with. Oh, with Ophir at soccer. And he was talking about like how in Israel, they don't do like naming your son after, like Jews don't do that, naming your son after you. And I was thinking about, I was like, that's got to be like a British thing. Like that's has to come from, like they would name Henry VIII, the ninth or whatever. And that kind of trickled over into our culture through slavery.
Right.
Because Jake is the third, his son's the fourth, and you really don't see that in a lot of other cultures.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Not in Asian culture.
Yeah.
At least.
It's interesting. But I am the navigator, the of these streaming waters, as we like to say, through the podcast tonight. And I am proven by recent history, as we posted that picture, and everybody said, "Yo, you look just like that guy." Every light-skinned guy or white guy with a beard that has any kind of blonde or red in it, that's who I am. I look just like that person. My name is Jamie Evans. Thank you guys for being here. And of course, last but not least, we got to give a shout out to our producer who's been holding us down for the longest, and we love her. She's our mother, Miss Angelique Lopez over there.
She's back.
She's back. Feeling better this week? but at least he held us down last week. But again, we got to give a shout out to our Patreon members because you guys help us make this possible by your support and your love and all of the support you do for us. It helps us keep all of the subscriptions going that we got to pay for to keep this platform up and running, and also help a little bit with the lights and everything. So if you want to become a member and support what we do, we do have a Patreon page because this podcast is all about community. This is all about a group of brothers and family members and men and husbands and sons that come together and talk about life's issues, whether it's culture, politics, just relationships, dating, all those things through the lens of us being Christians and things that we've learned in our journey, especially in the music business for so long. You can be a part of that and help that conversation flourish and show other people that these type of conversations are needed by supporting what we do. Go to the Patreon. It's patreon.com/youngliontv. And you can see it right here. You can see our Patreon there. You can sign up. There's multiple tiers where as little as $3 a month, you can join in and become a part of the pride of the Young Lions. So, and also if you want to support through our merch, the stuff that you see us wearing, besides Jake, we have the Jaton.com/shop where you can see all of our new Grateful merch that we've been pushing, which is merch based off of our new single that's been doing well. This is the designs that we have where you can go and you can grab some new Jaton merch right there, support the cause that way. Yeah.
I'm gonna get that jacket, yo.
Which jacket?
That jean jacket. That black jean jacket. Grateful.
Oh, yeah. That one's nice.
That's nice.
This one right here. Yeah. That's a nice one. Yeah, man. So again, appreciate everybody who's been watching. Shout out to all the people in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button. Share this video with your friends, because if you don't want to support those ways, that way is free. All you got to do is hit the like button and share the video. It helps us out tremendously. Because the algorithm...
$3 is not even a cup of coffee.
It's not. You spend way more than that on Starbucks every month. So, you can support the cause that way. But yeah, I wanted to, speaking of support and speaking of like positivity, I had a crazy situation happen today. And it's so funny because I was walking around wearing, this, show the camera, wearing this shirt and my hat, part of our merch line. And I needed some things, and one of the people here was like, "Oh, I want to go to Walmart real quick." I'm like, "All right, cool, let's go." So I go to Walmart, and we're walking around, and I just see some guy kind of like nervously kind of walking up to us, and I'm thinking like, "Oh, this guy's about to like try to sell us like he can lower our energy bill or something."
They do be in Walmart.
Those guys that come up and like try to harass you or whatever.
Yep.
So he came up, and this is what he says to me. He's like, "Yo," he said, "Hey, I don't mean to bother you guys, but I just want to know, like, do you guys have like a utility bill or like any what you have? What's your biggest energy bill or utility bill?" And that's when I was like, "What is this guy up to?" And I was like, well, probably my gas bill right now, because you guys know the situation I had with the gas bill. Yeah. And he was like, all right, well, what I'm doing is I'm just starting out on social media, and I just started a TikTok channel. And he's like, and I'm trying to go around and meet certain people who are shopping and try to bless them by paying one of their utility bills. Wow. And I was like, for real? Like, why? You know what I mean? So then he was kind of nervous, and we got into a conversation, and he was telling me that his father a couple months ago passed away. And he said he had like a nice life insurance payout, and he really didn't like want to do nothing stupid with the money. He's kind of been like had a good life and was sheltered. So he said he felt like he wanted to bless people, but he also felt like it would be a good way to start a social media platform. He sees, how people always do those TikToks where they go out and pay people's bills and stuff like that. Yeah. So he happened to run into me, and he's like, so he's like, I also suffer from, he said, I suffer from social anxiety, and I'm in therapy every day. And my therapist told me this would be a good way to like go out and get over that by like confronting people and just walking up to people and meeting them through this, medium or whatever. And I'm like, that's crazy, dude. And I'm like, how long have you been doing it? He's like, I just started doing it. He was telling me some of his horror stories because he's from Philly, but he's like in Jersey now. So he was telling me like some of the people that he's tried to, help and it went bad, or like he's still trying to figure out how to do it without giving his information out because some people like took money from him. You know what I mean? Like
what?
Yeah. So, it was interesting, but I'll show you guys the video because I made him do a video with me because he made me do a video. He said, all I'm asking you to do is make a little social media video that says like, he's called the Bill Bull because he's from Philly. That's his
Bill
tag,
Bull.
the Bill Bull. Yeah.
Oh, Young Bull.
Yeah. He's from Philly. So his tag is the Bill Bull. So he was like, I just want you to make a video saying like, I met the Bill Bull and something about, he paid my bill and he could pay yours too or something like that. And so I was like, all right, I'll do that. But you got to do one for me too, because I actually have a platform too where we do a podcast and, we have a little bit of a following. And I was like, I want to let people know about it. He was like, oh, that's crazy. So here you go, Mom. You can pull this up. This is the video right here. Hold on. Let me make sure the audio is working properly before we do that.
First of all, when you said gas bill, I thought you meant your car gas.
That's what I thought also.
Okay.
No, it was the gas bill. Like he had me call up South Jersey Gas and like put the information in, and then they said how much was owed on the bill, and then he put in his bank information right there, paid it, and then let me hear that the balance was zero, and then
he paid for your bill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he paid the gas bill.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, see, the audio wasn't set up properly.
Your bill was high?
I mean, it wasn't that high. I'm not going to go into what the bill was on here. It wasn't that crazy.
Nosy.
It wasn't crazy.
Somebody knows.
You know my mom's super nosy.
No. It's always been high, so all you had to say is yes, it was high or no.
All right. Hey, you can pull it back up, Mom. Here we go. Yo, I'm walking around Walmart doing my shopping thing, and I run into this guy. He stops me. This is the billboard. And he just paid my whole gas bill for me. This is something that he's doing. He's starting up a TikTok. He's on social media, and he's blessing people and just paying their bills for them just as a way to pay it forward to other people. So if you see this guy and you're in South Jersey or you're in the area and you're shopping, make sure you show him some love. This is the billboard. Listen, when you're grateful and you walk around grateful, things happen. So, shout out to him.
Yes.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, so it was kind of just like this random cool encounter.
You picked the right person, you.
Yeah, and I mean, he literally has no following yet. Like he had a couple people following him on TikTok. He doesn't even have any other platforms. So, at first I was like, is this dude trying to scam? Like, what is he doing? And because after he walked away, I was like, let me just check. And I called up to make sure, like, and my balance was really zero, you know what I mean? Because I just wanted to double check, like, did this dude just, like, what did he do? What could he, like, how could he have possibly just tried to scam me? You know what I mean? But shout out to him. If he is at _Bill_Bull, BULL, on TikTok, if you want to go follow him and, support what he's doing. That was, it was some positivity that I didn't expect. And if he's doing stuff like that, it's cool.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's that merch.
Yeah.
And the gratefulness that's illuminating from you.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, other than that, so that was a cool thing that happened today. But we had a cool thing that happened yesterday. Did you guys get to see the eclipse?
I took pictures of it.
You know what's funny is like after the whole eclipse thing, I started realizing, Mom, put it on Moon. I started realizing our Jatan logo looks like an eclipse.
Yeah.
And I never really even thought of that before. but it really does look like an eclipse.
Yeah, it does.
Which is cool. But yeah, so we had the dreaded solar eclipse. You know, we were talking about all of the things that could possibly happen. Everybody was all nervous and scared. Jesus was going to come back yesterday. But it seemed like it went off pretty pretty normal.
Yeah.
Pretty normal day.
Normal day. Did you hear anything about cicadas?
I didn't even hear anything about cicadas.
Nothing.
No, did you?
No, I didn't see anything on X or anything. Right?
Nope.
There was some interesting facts, like because we had a earthquake too,
Yes.
right? So all
That's right.
these
We had an
things that
earthquake
happened
last week.
While we
Yeah.
were away,
Mm-hmm.
on Friday.
it was
Yeah.
it was funny. We were just landing, right?
Yeah.
We were just landing, and we were getting texts. You had texts us. John
Yeah.
texts us. He was like, "Did you guys feel it?"
Yeah.
And Jamie being smart. No, we were on the plane.
No, I said we couldn't feel it from the plane. Because everybody was chiming in. I felt it. I could feel it where I was. No, we couldn't feel it from the plane. Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny.
Pretty sure he wasn't talking to us.
Yeah. No, he didn't know. I don't think he knew we were in the air.
Well, he dropped us off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I forgot he dropped us off. That's right. I forgot about that. He dropped us off at the airport.
Yeah. But it's interesting that it was 4.8
Yeah.
and the eclipse was on 4.8.
Well, it depends what outlet you read. Some said 4.7, some said 4.6, some said 4.8.
well,
but I did see
most
people
of the
said
ones were 4.8.
Yeah.
And
New York too, 4.8.
and I'm just speculating. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so don't take it like ooh. But I just thought it was cool. That
Do I need to put on the conspiracy music right now?
Yeah, put it on.
I don't have a button for that.
So 4.8, right?
Yeah.
4.8. There are 48 verses in the book of Jonah, which is interesting,
Okay.
right? Because they tracked this back, NASA, through the timing of the book, when the book of Jonah was.
Uh-huh.
That there was I don't know how many people know about Jonah and coming. I know people know Jonah and the whale, but he went to the city of Nineveh. He told them that they had to repent or their city was going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
There was a eclipse.
Mm.
Yeah, there was.
There was an eclipse, and they can pinpoint that eclipse through NASA.
What?
Yeah.
And what towns did this eclipse? 7 towns. That's named what?
7 Ninevehs.
I got it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He made sure he got. So there were 7 Ninevehs,
Yeah.
and the
Isn't it just so much better when you put the music?
It is.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jake.
so the eclipse. I gotta speak in my.
Yeah,
So
right.
the eclipse lasted 4.28 seconds. I'm sorry, 4 minutes, 28 seconds.
4 minutes, 28 seconds.
28 seconds.
And 4 times 2 equals 8.
There you go.
Boom.
But so 4 minutes, 28 seconds. And what do we see? The eclipse lasted 4 minutes, 28 seconds, almost twice as long as the one that happened back in 2017. Jeremiah 28. This is interesting. Jeremiah 4:28 is, "For this earth shall mourn, and the heavens above be dark. For I have spoken, I have purposed, I have not relented, nor will I turn back." And this was talking about the destruction of Jerusalem at the time.
Wow.
So I don't know. There's some interesting little things there, right?
And the earth did go dark.
And
Yes.
so a lot of it has to do with Nineveh. You have the destruction of Nineveh. You have, and I'm not saying something America's going to be destroyed, but
Yeah.
what I am saying is that there are signs,
There's signs.
and it speaks about these signs Jesus spoke about signs in the heavens.
It's clearly a time to be paying attention.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, we have an earthquake,
Yeah.
and then we have this eclipse.
Yeah.
You know, we've never felt an earthquake. I mean, we
We did.
I don't know.
I did.
Yeah, we did. No, it was like 1 year. 1
The
year.
one in 2017.
I never felt. It was in 2017.
Yeah. 2017. But the one that we felt, yeah, it was when that was
Yeah.
that one was a different one.
Was that a different one?
That was because what year was that? That was like 2011.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember it clearly because
Yeah.
I was in the apartments in Williamstown.
Yeah.
And the apartment was like this.
Yeah.
Felt like we were on a boat. And I went outside. Everybody was outside. Like, yo, what just happened?
Yeah.
I remember.
I remember it clearly too because I was in the shower at the apartment in Lakeview.
Oh, I don't even remember.
I was in
I felt nothing.
I was in the shower and I just remember feeling like the whole house was falling down around me. And I like had to hold myself up in the shower. And then I just like jumped out, grabbed a towel and like threw on some clothes real quick and ran out the house.
Where was I?
And everybody was out their houses just like I think you were probably at work. But everybody was at the house outside their houses like, what was that? You know what I mean? Nobody knew what it was. And then we found out that it was like an earth. But I think that earthquake was like we felt an aftershock from like Maryland or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't 4.8.
I don't remember.
I think that was probably the highest because people said they felt that in North New York.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find news on that.
That was weird because I was reading the Bible on the recliner in the living room. All of a sudden, it started to shake. I ran to the kitchen. I was still shaking. I said, "Oh my God, it's an earthquake!" I knew it. I said, "It's an earthquake." First time I ever felt in New Jersey an earthquake. I never felt the other one, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. Adam Fields did a crying emoji, crying, laughing emoji. I guess from
Because the conspiracy
conspiracy music.
I mean, it just works.
So I can't really ignore all that.
Yeah, you definitely can't ignore it. I mean, and there's definitely signs that God gives us to trust Him. You know, I think people get scared, so they don't want to like pay attention. They want to turn away,
Yeah.
which is actually the wrong thing to do.
I think this is the one right here. This is the one I can find. It was in August 23rd, 2011. Magnitude 5.8 earthquake in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
And we felt the aftershocks. I remember.
Yeah, I didn't feel
5.8.
Yeah. It was in 2011. Exactly what we said when Noah was like a year old.
Yeah.
Lisi was a year old too. Yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, that was crazy.
So yeah, we had a bunch of weird stuff
yeah.
going on this weekend, and
Well,
Monday.
I mean, if you can't explain those things, the earthquake, the cicadas, I mean, there is a great clip from the ever so wise women of The View that have an explanation for all the things that are going on in the world. I mean, I think we should watch this because there's a lot to learn here.
Oh, boy.
Leaving, we've got a solar eclipse. We've got the
ran down the
earthquake.
hallway.
She ran down the hallway.
The rapture is here.
The rapture's here. And then also I learned that the cicadas are coming.
Cicadas,
For the
guys.
first
Cicadas.
time in
Cicada,
like
cicada.
No,
100 years.
no.
Two different. Well, this is what I read.
There's
Two different times.
two different kinds of
Yes,
cicadas.
two different
coming.
times are coming.
The good cicadas
Types,
and the bad
But
cicadas.
for the first time in many, many years.
No,
And so-
every 17 years this happens.
Well, that's not what I read, but maybe maybe
Well,
you know better. But
in
I
a
will
way.
say all those things.
None of them know what they're talking about. They're all cutting each other off.
In a way.
Right. But it's about this is where it gets worse.
Together, would maybe lead one to believe that, either climate change exists
That's more
or
the
something
point.
is really
Except
going
Earth is
on.
returning. Earthquakes are not at the mercy of climate change. It's underground. They can't, I don't think
It happens,
How about
and,
the warming of the
and
planet?
the eclipse, they've known about the eclipse coming because the
Yo, she really tried to say an eclipse, earthquakes, and cicadas are because of climate change.
Yeah, I mean,
what
if
they're
they
told.
let her
Something
go
that
there,
has happened from what they believe since the beginning of time, millions of years ago.
Whoopi's giving some pushback. I've never seen that.
Because she knows you're making us look dumb right now. Like even she had to realize that. Climate change. Bro, I thought that was hilarious. I said, "Wow,
No.
that is one of the most confusing and unintelligent clips of TV right there. That is the breakdown of what's been going on."
She's been the worst, actually. What's her name? Sunny
Hostin.
Austin? That's head listing.
Yeah. Sunny Liston, the fighter. She in the ring with Muhammad Ali. Yeah.
She be saying some funny stuff.
Yeah, I know, dude. But yeah, man, that was a crazy clip. Giganator said, if you're not interested in supporting MAGA or President Donald J. Trump, you ain't no conservative. And both of these two rhinos fit that profile. What are you talking
What
about?
two rhinos?
What are you talking about?
we didn't even show anybody.
We didn't even
didn't
show no Republican.
That's got to be some kind of bot or something. And that's on Rumble in the live chat. We finally got a live chatter, and it must be like some bot or something. Or if you're not, Giganator, please explain what you're talking about because we haven't even talked about.
Do you know what a rhino is?
Maybe it's because I put Ben versus Candace in the title. Maybe he's talking about them.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe, possibly,
How are they rhinos, though?
because they're Republican in name only. I don't know. I don't get it. If you're interested in supporting MAGA, no, I just was checking the comments and that was funny. Anyway, so yeah, The View in their wonderful breakdown, and then
Yeah, but I'll say I definitely think that it's a time to, and even in terms of where we're at, like this is in the middle of Easter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also Passover's coming up,
yeah,
so it's a significant time in terms of the season we're in, and we got to pay attention. Don't let these things just pass you by. Pray about it. Ask God about it. Let him guide you.
well, we also know what's happening on Passover too. We showed that
What
the sacrificing of the red heifers.
was that actually on Passover?
I believe that's what they said. It's slated to be on Passover.
Okay.
That's what the news report said on CBS. But I don't. Maybe that they might not be. They might be mistaken. Let's see.
How are they going to sacrifice?
You saw the altar.
Yeah, the little
and then
altar.
they bring it up there, and then they
No, I mean,
burn
like,
it.
So they're going to burn them?
Let's see.
They're not going to have like a little...
It says, still our opinion, the first successful red heifer sacrifice will take place in the spring of 2024 around the Passover to Pentecost time frame. So I guess
around the Passover.
they don't know exactly, but they're speculating it could be Passover or Pentecost, which is, what's that feast? The Pentecost feast? What's that one?
Shavuot.
Shavuot, yeah. So, other than that, there is something else that jumped off recently. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Pull this up, Mom. So, we got this bird flu pandemic that they're warning us about that could be 100 times worse than COVID, scientists warn. And the CDC is laying out all these guidelines for what we might need to do because apparently this jump from birds to cows to now humans. And they're setting up for some kind of major pandemic again. You guys weren't aware of this?
No.
So here I got a bunch of headlines from different articles showing the different things that, how they're setting this up, how to prepare the U.S. is how prepared the U.S. is for a bird flu pandemic. It's a hard title to So this is from the Washington Post, and they're going into about how we're not really prepared. From the Daily Mail, U.S. is this is from February 2024, right? You revealed U.S. is collaborating with Chinese scientists to make bird flu strains more infectious and deadly as part of a $1 million project, despite fears similar tests unleashed COVID. So apparently there was some kind of gain of function bird flu, collaboration with China again in February.
Why do y'all keep doing this?
And now we have a bird flu outbreak.
Why are we messing with things we shouldn't be messing with?
Because we want to play God. We believe that we have the will to do what we want. Do what thou wilt is the whole of the law. And dude, you know that's not from Aleister Crowley. He took that from someone else. I was watching those old videos again, and they were breaking it down. I think he got it. He either got it from Helen Blavatsky or somebody else from that time period.
Okay. Yeah, she came before him.
Yeah, so someone from that time period is the person that he was studying that came up with that phrase. Do with that.
The Theosophic
Society. It could have been that, yeah. But that was their whole thing. Do what thou wilt is the whole of the law.
Okay.
Yeah. So just interesting. And then right here, first human case of bird flu in Texas detected after contact with infected dairy cattle. This is from the Texas Tribune. The person had contact with infected cattle. State health officials, said it's the second recorded human case in the U.S. Hey, maybe they infected those red heifers and they're trying.
I was going to
maybe
say
that's
they
a
look
Trojan
a little
horse.
red. They look.
That's the Trojan horse, man. That's what they're really doing with those cows. Yeah, a person in Texas became ill with the bird flu after contact with infected dairy cattle. State officials reported Monday. What do you guys think this is going to do to the dairy and meat industry?
That's what I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Panic.
Sounds like you will eat the bugs. You will eat the bugs.
So again, why are we talking about this?
Because it's about time to pay attention.
These are things to pray about. These are things to consider.
Once we cook the cow, though, right? Should be good. Pray over it.
I don't know, man. I'm hearing about them, putting mRNA vaccines in the meat now. All kinds of things.
Yeah, that's a Billy hates.
Yeah. This is from Verify. What can we verify about bird flu amid the current outbreak? Can you safely eat eggs and drink milk during an avian flu outbreak? Is there a bird flu vaccine? We verify the answers to common questions about the H5N1 virus. And I'm seeing this a bunch of outlets showing like you can only can't eat them sunny side ups, Mon. During the bird flu pandemic.
I love them. I love the Yokies.
Can't eat none of these. Can't eat poached. Can't eat soft boiled. Only the hard scrambled and hard boiled. So I guess you could eat. I guess the meat should be good to eat, but it's got to be well done.
Yeah. Well, you should be cooking your chicken well done anyway.
No, I'm talking about beef.
Beef. Yeah. Well, I know. You're talking about the bird flu and infected cows. I'm thinking about how they're trying to get us not to eat meat.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I'm saying. I think like a lot of these things are going to deter people, right? Because you already see a lot of people saying like, "Oh, I'm thinking about cutting out meat," because they're slowly just constantly poking at that idea at people. Like meat is not good for you. Meat is not good. And I think like if they can use fear as a tactic to push people away from it, they will. Matter of fact, we saw that in the remember the guy from the World Economic Forum? We showed that clip where he was talking about how if they could release or vaccinate people in a way or inject them in a way where they would like physically get sick when they eat meat, like almost like an allergic reaction, then people wouldn't want to eat it. You know what I mean? And if you can make people afraid of eating meat or make them like just totally turn them off from meat, then it would lower carbon emissions.
That's just
Like,
that's just pure evil.
yeah. Because cows are the problem.
Yeah,
Farting
farting
cows.
cows are the problem.
Yeah, there's just so many articles. Is it safe to eat chicken, eggs during the bird flu? I'm seeing like so many people write about this. That's what I'm saying. Like they're pumping the what's the word? They're pumping the ethos with this idea.
Mm-hmm.
Just to ask the question, because when you ask the question, it already makes people say in their mind, "Oh, something must be wrong."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Putting it out there.
Daily Mail: what you can and can't eat amid America's bird flu outbreak, according to the ex-FDA food chief. Avoid steakhouses, salad dressing, and even some favorite desserts. Yeah, here we go, guys. Buckle up.
It's gonna be all dairy stuff.
Dairy, meat, probably poultry. Yeah, so just buckle up, guys. I mean, who knows what they're attempting to pull off, also because this is an election year, you know, and you know they always got something up their sleeve with trying to force people to, the mail-in ballots is their favorite thing to do. So if they can force everyone into that situation again.
New Jersey is voting soon, right? In June? Is it June?
I don't even remember.
Yes, I think it might be June. Like, I think it's like June 20 something. I might be away. What do you do when you're away?
You can do a that's what the
That's when the
mail-in
mail-in-
is made for. It's like an absentee ballot. That's what you do. But even those are supposed to be more verified. Like you have to provide proof
Okay,
when you do an absentee ballot.
I got to figure out how to exactly.
Yeah, there's these things that we carry around with us that have all the information that's known to man in them, called cell phones. You can kind of Google it.
Yes, I will
and figure
Google it for my town.
Yeah. Oh, so the next thing I want to get into is I was talking about the Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens thing. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. They're still they got into this thing where they was this dude is tired and yawning like crazy. They got into another little back and forth over Twitter based off of an Andrew Schultz podcast that went viral because he weighed in on the whole Candace Owens getting fired thing. This is you know, the outlets are running with this. I thought this headline from Slate was hilarious. The establishment rights alliance with open bigots is under a new kind of pressure. Candace Owens' feud with Ben Shapiro set off a meltdown. It exposes much deeper rifts. Like, wow. So I'll show the clip from and shout out to Anomaly. Anomaly is the one who kind of blew this whole story up because he posted the clip from Schultz's podcast and it just kind of went crazy because he was making a point about Ben Shapiro. You know, the same thing we were kind of saying, like you claim to be a certain thing and then, you know, this makes you look a certain way. So let's just see how let's preface this with, like, this is a comedy podcast and they don't really get political and they don't really get like into the weeds on stuff like this.
Schultz himself speak on, you know, things.
Yeah.
Not so much that what's their podcast called?
Flagrant. Yeah.
They just stay real light and funny.
Yeah.
Makes the argument for censorship. He calls it something else.
Yeah, I forget the term. I have it in my phone.
But I don't even think he's using the term right. But he's basically like, there's a window of ideas we accept.
Yes.
And we accept ideas between this, I guess this is, if I get window, you're looking like this. So we accept ideas between here and
He's talking about the Overton window, by the way. That's what they're thinking of.
here. And anything outside of that window, well, you're fireable. That's censorship.
What?
But
Yeah.
he's acting as if this is like a justified reason for firing people when you built your identity and platform off of no censorship and freedom of
Yes.
speech and facts don't care about your feelings and all this shit.
It's also funny that window happens to end where his beliefs end.
I am
Isn't it
shocked
interesting?
that you would say
Well,
that.
not being pro-Israel, that's where the window ends. That's also your specific personal belief.
What?
So I just
So
don't
you
see.
can't have an opinion on your platform that is not pro a country that is not ours?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Crazy. I wish.
So wait, is
I
the
wanna
Daily
look at
Wire an American media platform or is it an Israeli media platform? I'm just asking.
This guy's cooking.
And you know what's funny is the reason why I nominally posted this is because he said this. He was like, Andrew Schultz doesn't even realize what he's doing right there is he is actually breaking the anti-Semitic laws that they are passing in all these states. You know what I mean? Because you even saying that is in violation of those bills that they passed. So he doesn't even realize like he's making the joke by just saying that, putting that out there, but that's already considered anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
So now he can be targeted.
Which is why this is such a problem.
Right.
This whole, the way they're trying to, I mean, anytime you, like when you say hate speech,
Yeah.
these things are hard to define.
Yes.
So.
Yes. As we saw when they tried to define it.
Right.
Right. And if it was any other group claiming hate speech, Ben Shapiro will be all over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then he continues and he kind of like digs in on Ben.
I'm just saying, I'm just no. If the rule is, I'm just saying, if the rule is, you cannot be critical because he has no problem being very critical of America.
Yep.
He's critical of the left in America. Left is half the country. You have no problem eviscerating half
That's
of the
the
country.
current power.
I'm surprised they didn't pick up on like he criticizes black people all the time.
Yeah, he does.
Party in power.
But you can't criticize Israel as a country. That's just another country, unless you're saying, and you're clearly admitting that the Daily Wire is an arm of the Israeli, I guess, media or propaganda machine. Is that?
Oof.
Are you manipulating the religious right in America? Are you manipulating the right-wing conservatives in America and selling them country western movies and putting on your little cowboy hat and fake moving to Nashville so that you could take all their money and then in the process restricting free speech, one of the core tenets of the American identity? Ben.
Oof.
Benjamin.
What is happening? There's trouble in paradise. He makes the argument.
So he posted that and everyone was sharing that all over Twitter. And then he goes on, I don't know if that clip is on here, but he goes on to say how Ben Shapiro, he thinks Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens would never debate because Ben Shapiro doesn't debate anyone who really has any like skill to wash him or whatever. I think that's the term he uses because he said he debates college kids who have nothing to say. You know what I mean? He doesn't debate. So then Anomaly posted that clip, and I think Candace Owens replied to that clip and posted it and said, "I'm willing to debate Ben Shapiro about what is anti-Semitism, you know, and a bunch of other topics." And she said we could do it. I vote to do it on PBD because. She was saying on neutral ground, I vote to do it on PBD. And hold on, let's see. Ben Shapiro said, no, we're not doing it on PBD because PBD said this right here.
Andrew Schultz recently said something. Rob, if you can pull up this clip from
Except idea country that is Israeli.
That's what attracted me to Ben Shapiro. And
feel like they cannot say what they want to say in public because they're afraid that they are going to be canceled.
But I'm not going to say top here this with him. I think he's at Nissan right now.
Trying to find the spot. I thought I had it pulled up.
We bought so many cars from that guy. The fact that it's disputable. It wasn't like it was hidden. It wasn't a secret. You knew what I stood for.
So what he said, I'll just sum it up for you guys. I thought I had the spot. What he said was, he said if the Daily Wire is going to cape so much for Israel, they should make that known in their name and call themselves like the Daily Jewish Wire or the Daily Israeli Wire, you know. So the fact that he said that, now Ben Shapiro said he's anti-Semitic, so he wouldn't go on his platform to debate Candace Owens. So he said he would do it on his show. He was like, you come on my show. And she's like, obviously I'm not going to come on your show and do it. You know, we need to go somewhere else. So this whole thing sparked a whole bunch of debate online. If they're going to do this debate, Ben
don't want to do it.
You don't think so?
No.
No, he said he would.
He said he would. He said
on
he would.
His
show. On his show, though.
On his show.
On his show. Yeah.
That's to me.
No. I think they came to an agreement.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure that the end of it was that they would do it
Where are they going to do it at?
I don't just on. They're just gonna do it to YouTube.
On Twitter maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure they agreed to do it not at Daily Wire.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So PBD responded to Ben Shapiro's claim on him, and this I have.
Okay.
Ben and Candace, let me first start off by saying I am so happy the two of you guys are talking, as well as agreeing to do a sit down. Obviously, the detail is the challenge, where we're going to figure out. Let me give you a couple things I want you to be thinking about. One, Ben, let me address your issue about what I said yesterday with the Daily Israeli Wire. I even said the Daily Jewish Wire. If you haven't watched the entire context of what I said, I'm going to put the link below. You can go watch the entire thing on what I said from the beginning to the end. I highly recommend you watch it. Secondly, why I think you have to know where my perspective is slightly different is I understand where you're coming from, because I lived in Iran as a kid from the day I was born till 10 years old, where we were bombed 167 times in one day. 500,000 people died, and I was a Christian kid living in a nation where 98% were Muslim. We were afraid to talk about what we were all about. So I feel the pain of people living in Israel, and I fully feel the pain of some of the folks who are Christian folks maybe living in Palestine that don't agree with what's going on with Hamas. I understand both sides, and that's why I understand what Candace is saying, and I also understand why you have the position that you have. Having said that, there's a couple things I want you to be thinking about. Number one, you are Jewish. I think you're from Burbank, California, if I'm not mistaken, and you got 4 kids. I'm Middle Eastern, Armenian, Assyrian, born in Iran. I went to Glendale, California. And then we have Candace, who I believe is from White Plains, New York, with 3 kids. We're all family folks, right? When we come down and sit down and have the conversation together, we're in America today. So this is my proposal to you. If you're America first, we, Valuetainment, have agreed that if you want to do the sit down with us, a fair and balanced sit down, the moderating of the two of you, we will give $250,000 to Laken Riley's family because of what's happening today with illegal immigration. It's the #1 issue in America, and I think it matters to the both of you. So no matter where you live, today we're raising our kids in America. So I want to make sure we're America first. And last but not least, while we're talking about this, I'm going to be around for a very long time in this space. We're going to be hosting many, many different types of conversations like this. Whether you're left, center, or right, people come here, they feel safe with us, which means we're going to do a very fair interview with the two of you. And the details is on you to say yes or no. If not, totally understand. If you're open to it, I think I live 25 minutes away from you. Let's make this happen and unite specifically to the biggest voices in the conservative space. Take care, guys.
So he's still trying to make his pitch for them to do it on Valuetainment, and he posted that, I think, on April 5th. So I don't know if they decided.
This is Friday.
Yeah, I don't know if they decided exactly yet. Could be. I don't know. I mean, I could try to see.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they said that they agreed there was an issue because even the other guy, what's his name? The CEO,
Jeremy Boring.
Yeah, Jeremy Boring,
the God King.
The God King.
That's what they call him.
Oh.
Which is kind of I never understood that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he got into it too.
Okay.
So
what did he say?
He was basically saying like, because it had something to do with Candace was away the time that they were trying to do it, and he was like, "Well, I don't know that you're away," and she was like, "Well, you would know that I'm away because I was working there. You knew my schedule, whatever." But then he tried to act like he didn't know her schedule, and it was just the whole. That was a dumb interaction.
Okay.
Didn't all escalate because Ben started talking about, telling people that she fired when there was an agreement.
Well, that's the whole conversation that Andrew Schultz is talking about, because Ben went on to Dave Rubin. He did a sit down with Dave Rubin, and they were talking about why she was fired, and he said, because everyone is coming after him, like, I thought you guys were for free speech. So he was saying that there's an Overton window of what they're going to tolerate, what kind of views they're going to tolerate no matter what. So if anything falls outside of that, then they are not going to have people like that on their platform. And he used, like, if someone was completely pro-abortion, you know, as an example, which, you know, that's fine. But
yeah, but so what was the issue? That he didn't really go into that.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, what
did she
was
do that was outside of the Overton window?
I've been watching a lot of her stuff. According to her, she don't even know.
Yeah.
Like he had that, remember that rant that got, like, went viral when he didn't know that he was being filmed.
Yeah.
Started talking about her.
And someone asked, what do you think about Candace Owens? And he said, I think what she's been doing is disgraceful.
Yeah.
And he said her faux intellectualism on the Israel-Palestine thing.
Right.
Yeah, he went.
But he never had a conversation with her.
Yeah.
According to her on Tucker.
Yeah.
When she was on Tucker.
Yeah, she has.
He's just super emotional over this topic.
Yeah, I mean, and he constantly brings up the fact that Matt Walsh doesn't agree with him, you know, about the policies of Israel, Palestine, and he's still on the show or on the platform or whatever. But Matt Walsh is very careful about what he says.
He is.
And he'll push back against that speech bill.
Yeah.
You know, but he's very careful about what he says when it comes to Israel and Palestine and the whole Gaza Hamas thing. Like, he doesn't say much. So I think, you know, that says a lot about what that Overton window is that he's talking about. But then Joe Rogan had someone on his podcast that kind of, this is along the same lines, that kind of schooled him a little bit about what's going on over there. So I wanted to play this just to kind of wrap up this whole topic, because this was real recent too.
30,000 innocent civilians in response to something that killed 1,200 innocent civilians, and you're continuing to bomb an area into oblivion. That is at least the steps of genocide, or a form of genocide.
So when you say 30,000 civilians, it's not 30,000 civilians that have been killed, though.
How many thousands have been killed?
So according to Gaza Health Ministry, which is run by Hamas, the number they have is 32,000, but they don't distinguish between Hamas and civilians.
How many members of Hamas are there?
40,000, something like that. I don't think the number is known, but it's tens of thousands. So Hamas says 32,000 people have been killed, civilians and soldiers. Israel says 13,000 soldiers have been killed by Israel. So let's not doubt either number. They could both be inflated. But if both of those numbers are accurate, which they may or may not be, that would be 13,000 soldiers killed, 19,000 civilians killed, which for urban combat in the Middle East is a very normal ratio. It's very distinct from genocide, because genocide is when you're trying to maximize civilian casualties. I think Israel, however imperfectly, is doing the opposite. They're trying to minimize civilian casualties.
That's interesting.
This is the way I would put it, succinctly. If you ask the question, what is unique about this war? What is different about this war than all other wars? It's not the civilian death toll. The ratio of combatants to civilians is, I think it's better than the American armies was when we got ISIS out of Mosul. That was like 10,000 civilians dead to kill 4,000 ISIS. This is 19,000 civilians dead to kill 13,000. What's unique about this war, unlike every other...
That's an interesting point right there, because people don't know those numbers.
Yeah.
They don't know how many people were killed, how many civilians were killed by us to get rid of ISIS.
Yeah.
They don't know that. You know, they just think...
Because media is not inflating or, pushing, this propaganda of how you should think, how you should feel.
And they're not throwing out the most dramatic numbers to get a reaction. Like, you keep hearing that 30,000 number all over everywhere.
Right.
30,000. So, and they keep saying civilians.
Yeah.
And this is why war is not a good thing.
It's called the fog of war, because everything gets cloudy. All of the information is all over the place. People are spewing out propaganda. People die. Innocent people die all the time.
Yeah, they never talk about, the Christian genocide.
Yeah. Yep.
People don't even know, what happened in my country.
Yep.
There's lots of people. I just talked to a dude today about like what happened. He's like, wow, I don't even I don't even know. I didn't even know anything.
Most people don't know about that, man. We still gotta do something with that footage where we
Yeah.
interviewed your mom, and like I pulled all of that documentary footage from Pol Pot and all of that. We have all that in a folder somewhere. We gotta do something with it someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of tell your story.
But like, yeah, you got the Armenian genocide.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Candace Owens actually brought that up to the Rabbi Barclay.
Yeah.
And that happened through Turkeys.
Yeah. The Turks.
The Turks. What's it called? I guess occupation. You
Right.
can call it occupation.
Right.
Right. And they still deny it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
The Turks.
Yeah.
So I mean,
There was for a while, Cenk Uygur refused to acknowledge it, and he named his channel the Young Turks, which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep going on this clip.
The other war that I could think of is you have an army in Hamas that has perfected the art of embedding itself and meshing itself with civilians so that you cannot hit them without hitting the people around them. Other armies have done this, but none have perfected it to the extent that Hamas has. And yes, I agree with all of the absolute tragedy and suffering of the Palestinian people, but what creates that is the way Hamas fights. And either we can say one of two things. We can either say Israel doesn't have a clean shot and they have to let Hamas get away with it because it's too much to bear. But then we are essentially creating a situation where terrorists have found the perfect solution, which is that you can cross the border, go house to house slaughtering your enemies, and then hide behind your own people and they can do nothing about it. It's a perfect strategy. Can we live in a world where we allow that to be an acceptable strategy? I don't think so. And it's very ugly to watch. It's heartbreaking, and I completely understand why people don't think the way I think when they see the videos. I completely get it. But I don't think we can actually live in a world where that's allowed to be a strategy.
I appreciate your perspective. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it was interesting. I thought that was a great
that's a good breakdown.
sum up of it because you're only hearing the one narrative right now.
Yeah, he's. I watched some of that. I didn't finish that podcast, but he's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah, smart guy.
Even killed. He was. I don't know if that our girl Sunny from The View had some stuff to say about him.
That's right. I did see that.
There was like a
clip.
little beef.
Yeah,
little beef there
because he wrote a book about the DEI thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and she clearly didn't read.
Yeah,
or understand like what he was saying.
She got emotional. Yeah,
like she always does.
That's the problem when people they want to read into things because of their bias,
Mm-hmm.
and then they twist it for the sake of their own image of how they want it to turn out.
Right.
You mean like she just twisted all that
the climate change,
global
she just
warming.
She just do climate change.
Climate change on top of cicadas.
The solar eclipse and the cicadas are because of
the solar eclipse. Yeah.
The Earth warming.
Yeah.
The fact
that's like saying high tide is because of climate change.
the fact that you even can say that.
Yeah.
Show like you can be like, I don't know, so I'm not gonna say it. But the
Right.
fact that you say it, like, or say like, I don't know, but could this have something?
Right.
No, she's just gonna go there.
Loved it. She said that.
Yeah.
She's gonna go there. But yeah, we got to take these things into consideration with Israel, right?
Yeah.
We gotta understand what war does and what war is.
Yeah.
Like, it's never good.
Mhm.
It's never a good thing. And again, we talked about this. How Hamas fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even the whole thing. They've had somebody who is always looking to be the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'd be surprised the stuff they come up with.
Right.
You'd be surprised when people are trying to get over on you, when they're trying to get you, because that's what it really is.
Right.
Like, they got to get you
Mhm.
so that you can have sympathy.
Right.
Like, it reminds me of remember that time we were in Philly and the guy was on the street, the African guy?
Yeah.
And he was acting like he lost his money
Mhm.
and was acting like a victim, right? But then he becomes so much of a victim that he tries to use people that are actually nefarious in terms of how they're gonna react, because he looks for people who think they're gonna get over on him, right? But he actually gets over on them, and a lot of that stuff happens too, right? You have all these things are at play. How can we use this? How can we use this for our own benefit? To me, Islam even. How can Islam use Hamas, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about as a broader thing. Like, all these things are at play here. So it's not when you are always looking, how can I get over? How can how can it benefit me, or how can it benefit Hamas, right? Or an organization or whatever, or my people? It becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And even in terms of anti-Semitism, it's the same thing. When you're always looking at like, well, because I've been through this, I don't want to go through that again. So therefore, I have to put these things in place so that in no way possible I'll ever be put in that place again that my ancestors were put in. That's how you're thinking. That's your focus, right? So now you're going to create things that are perverted, because to me, that's the way the devil works.
Yeah.
He gets you so hyper focused that everything's here, right? And you don't see
the bigger
all the
picture.
things that are going on around.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. So let's let's get into some other little more cultural things, little clips that we got before we get into these last videos. First, I want to show. I thought this was interesting. This is a class where white women can pay $5,000 to sit down around a dinner table to be told that they're racists. Play this real quick.
White women are socialized to be nice. And part of that niceness means you don't come to a beautifully prepared dinner table and then leave because something upsets you. So we know they'll stay. So that's why we use the dinner. How many of you at this table think that you're racist?
Welcome to Race to Dinner.
How many of you at this table, you nice white people, would actually happily trade places with a black person in this society?
Disclaimer, the following contains blunt and honest conversations about racism.
We have the hostess prepare a crying room.
That's such a dumb question, though, because if you sat a table of black women down and said, how many of you would trade places with a white woman? Most of them would say no, too. You know what I mean? Like, most people love their identity enough to be like, I wouldn't want to be something else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You ever? This is a little side note, but I saw this. Maybe I should try to find it. But I saw this thing where they were talking about. You ever notice how that everything that black people say is opposite of white people? Like,
no, I never know.
Like,
what do you mean?
When you say, "Yo,"
slangs.
Oh, that's genius. They'll be like, "Yo, that's crazy," or "Oh yeah, I'm up for that." Like, "Oh yeah, I'm down."
Down for that.
Like,
I'm down. Yeah.
Oh,
that's hot.
Yeah, that's hot. Oh, that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
It was just funny the way they were doing
That's
it.
funny. Bad became good.
Yeah.
Good? Yeah. Wow, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yo, that's bad.
The way that back on this, the way that the black woman was like, "Oh, you lovely," or "You lovely white women."
Yeah.
If it was said by a white person,
yeah,
"You lovely black women,"
right?
Like, that was
totally offensive.
Yeah, offend people.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed that, like, you know, it's like
you
can
affect but that's a Marxist ideology where it's like, because I'm the oppressed class, I don't have to live by the same rules as you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a freedom to pretty much violate your feelings in any way because you are privileged.
Mm-hmm.
You're projecting onto them, and you don't even realize you're doing it.
Yep.
So when your white lady feelings get hurt, you can go in the room and have at it.
Disclaimer, no white women were harmed in the making of this report.
In 30 seconds, we establish, that you all are racist and that you know the hierarchy. Black at the bottom, white at the top, and the rest of us somewhere in between.
The goal is to have radically honest conversations. I'm old enough to have demonstrated and marched in the 60s, okay? And what I know is as a society, we don't have honest conversations about race.
During Cyber Rao's unsuccessful run for Congress in 2018, she found her schedule overflowing with coffee dates and campaign events.
At every event, like line of white ladies wrapped around the door waiting to talk to me, to tell me not all white women. My platform was anti-racism. Not me, you've got me wrong.
Denver native Regina Jackson worked on Cyber's campaign and thought to consolidate these one-on-one anti-racism discussions into a dinner.
So we did it. We just did one of these dinners, and it was full white women, the Broadway musical. You know, crying, arms folded, eyes rolled, pacing around the dinner table, and we posted about it on Facebook, and it went viral.
I should have educated them.
The dinners, which continue to grow in popularity, have taken place from Denver to Chicago to Toronto. A white woman chooses to host at her home for a group of 7 friends.
This is like a form of masochism for like white women that want to come and be told that they're racist and like be berated. Because even like their approach, you ever see those restaurants where it's like, we're going to treat you like trash and it's an experience?
Yeah.
It's like, that's kind of like what this is, right? Like you show up,
signing
we're going to treat you like trash and make you feel like a crappy racist white lady and you're going to like it. You know what I mean? And then when they leave, they have these conversations with the people. Man, we had such an experience. I'm telling you, like, it changed me, okay? Like, I learned things about myself that no one could have ever showed, you know.
The price of the 2-hour dinner, $5,000.
Oh my goodness! People are worked up about this because white people think that them doing this work is charity and we should be paying them. So even a penny would be too much.
Thank you.
Race to Dinner's message can now be consumed through a New York Times bestseller and a documentary.
Thank you.
That's why you're charging $5,000. Ladies, stop it. Y'all trying to get paid.
Yeah.
You tried to run for Congress. You failed. You're trying to find another hustle. Like, this is crazy, bro. Because some people are masochistic in that way. Like, we've built like that book White Fragility sold like hotcakes, and it's mostly white women buying
that
it.
white guilt is a real thing.
Yeah.
We see it with some people that's in our organization.
Yeah, it's mostly liberal white women too.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Jake sent me some stuff. Let's go with this video first. It said he almost made me cry.
Yeah,
explain what this is.
Wanted to. He says some stuff that it went viral. That's why I wanted to share it. But I wanted to see
let's get our thoughts on
what
it.
you guys had to say about it.
Okay. Yeah. That's how it is with these Instagram
Getting
videos.
bad advice. And one of the worst pieces of advice that I hear all the time is don't date a broke man. Wrong. It's not don't date a broke man. Don't date an uneducated man. For when he is intellectually inferior, he will assert his dominance in other arenas. Let me say that again because y'all need to jot that down. When he is intellectually inferior, he will assert his dominance in other arenas. When he can't match your intellect, when he can't match you in conversation, when he can't really debate you, when he can't really offer much to a talk, he will assert his dominance in other arenas. His strength will show up in other places. And those places will be emotional or physical abuse or both. Am I lying? You need an educated man. For an educated man will know how to escape poverty. An educated man has an understanding of patriarchal system. An educated man understands feminism. And an educated man understands how to learn. When you deal with an uneducated man, you're dealing with a man who never had to be a student. You can't teach somebody who has never learned how to be taught. So he ain't gonna give you no different, but broke. That's the only thing he could do different for you. But an educated man will get it. Especially for women, y'all are getting degrees at higher rates, which means you're escaping poverty at higher rates, which means you're making more money, and it means you're intellectually superior. So if he's not beating you intellectually and financially, where else can he beat you at?
I didn't know this was a competition.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you setting it up in that framework already is flawed.
Yeah.
And like education is such a subjective term. What is saying someone is
especially?
That's what I'm saying. You're talking about
you
someone who
college?
went to college.
Yeah.
You gonna tell me that means someone is educated or someone is built to be a leader or to be a father or be a husband? That's not true at all.
There's people who have gender studies.
Exactly.
They got gender study
degrees.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. But yeah, I just wanted to show this because I think he has a point. Like, there's some truth into what he's saying.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, there are men out there, but that are abusive.
Right.
And they will look at your intellect as
a threat.
Yeah. But that's not the majority of men, bro.
That is a very, very, very small minority of men. And it's not because it's not a threat because you're smarter than them. It's because they don't see a way that you'll submit.
Yeah.
And men that don't have a way for you to submit naturally, they're gonna try to, like, especially what he's talking about, those type of men that are insecure, that are narcissists, that may be abusive. That's the only avenue they have to then get you to submit. Is through physical or threat or fear.
But even that way of submission is not.
It's not true.
It's not true submission.
Right.
It's more slavery.
Yeah.
It's more bondage.
Yeah.
Right?
It's completely. It's evil. You know.
Yeah. But to me, I see it as this. He's a feminized man. So
yes,
clearly.
And I'm not talking about
clearly.
I'm not even talking about.
I know you're not, but
his sexuality.
Right.
What I'm saying is that it's in the way he thinks,
his thinking,
and processes it. Because when you come from an inferior place and you're trying to assert your dominance, which is actually what he's saying, but he's actually doing it.
Right.
That, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's telling people to do that. He's basically saying, no, you're the one that's winning. You're the strong one. You're the, so stop going after these, what do you say?
Yeah.
These broke men?
He said, yeah, don't date. He said, don't worry about dating. No, he said, don't worry about dating a broke man. Worry about dating an uneducated man.
Educated man. That's what he said. Yeah.
But what do you mean by that, though?
Yeah, but that's
men
my
that
point.
don't have, college degrees or masters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
None of us have masters.
It's crazy, bro.
Well, to me, like, if you look at, what does the Bible say? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So, truly, the beginning of wisdom, of education, is humbling yourself. And he did say, like, they don't know how to be students.
Right.
Like, I get that.
There
Yeah,
was some
there's-
truth in there, and I
Yeah.
saw that. A man that can't be a student can't lead.
Right.
Yeah.
Or can't learn.
Yeah.
That's what he said, right?
Right.
So you
He's
have
so
to.
surface, though, that he probably means
Oh, we know what
a
he
real
means.
student.
We know what he means. He means
Go to
someone who
college.
can't pass tests and listen to the professor
Yeah.
and take notes.
Right.
Yeah.
But if, like, the most aggressive people are usually the ones that have something to prove. Right? That's why, like, even in that, how he's talking, like, he's got something to prove. Right? Like, the whole neck thing.
Yeah.
That's why, like, that stuff, you're really trying
I think
to
he
prove
even did that.
Yeah. But a body language expert will break all of that down as, like, someone trying to convince you through body language. Like, they use those tactics to assert their, like you said, their dominance in the conversation.
Yeah.
So you need to listen to me because I'm so animated and I'm so sure of myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And that's why there's a lot of
women that listen
There's
to
a
it.
lot of women.
I was just
Well-
looking at this video here real quick. Pull it up real quick again, Mom, because I'm like, this is what the social media, internet, TikTok, all of this has become now, because this is the super inception right now, because he made a video. Someone duetted that video, and then someone else did an overlay, and now we're commentating on it on a podcast.
Yeah.
So this is like the fourth dimension of
And the thing was,
commentary.
The thing was, I was gonna go back and find the original, but then I was like, no, because you got to see how many people, especially women, right? They'll take it
and believe. I mean,
Yeah.
the text says he almost made me cry.
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
Why though?
Yeah.
I never. Does she talk about, like, why did she almost
No.
cry?
And I that's one of the things that I don't get about, like, TikTok and some of these other platforms, even on Instagram, where it's like you can just do a duet and just play someone else's video, say nothing, add nothing to it, and it's just like you get views off of it. I've seen people do that with our videos and get hundreds of thousands of views from, like, one of our viral videos, and they said nothing. They just reposted it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to find that.
Thieves.
Yeah.
Thieves.
What's that scripture?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. So anyway, I think the issue is, like, tell that women are actually uneducated that are going to listen to this stuff.
Mhm.
As much school as
snap.
they've been to or had.
What music we got for that?
Watch out now.
And I'm saying it in this way because of the lack of actual submission.
Mhm.
And I think men need to learn how
Right.
to have women submit to them in a way where they can actually receive,
Mhm.
right, from them.
Yeah.
That's a lack. That's a lack in men.
Yeah.
I think it starts with knowing Jesus, bro.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
a huge part of it.
It definitely. I mean,
Men
that's what
submitting
we're
to God.
If you look at you look at
Yeah.
all these signs, you look at what's going on,
Mhm.
right? It's about the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Yes. Mhm.
If we're gonna
Yep.
have wisdom in this, we got to fear God.
Right.
We got to turn to God, right?
We're gonna know how to deal with all these things.
Yeah. So, what's that scripture? Silly women. Oh, it's like.
Yeah.
Jake trying to.
Oh, that's one of my favorite scriptures.
Somebody
The silly women scripture. Yeah.
Somebody gonna clip
read
it,
that.
Jake. Somebody gonna clip this.
No, because I was going to the wrong Timothy. It's
I read that scripture every day.
Second Timothy.
2 Timothy
It's one of my-
3,
it's
6,
one of
9.
my favorites too.
For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
But see, again,
ever learning,
but
never able to come into the knowledge of the truth. That is a significant phrase right there,
Yeah.
because especially nowadays with all of the books, and I remember, like, you ever remember the sitcoms where we used to watch and men were always made to be idiots on sitcoms. We know
Yep.
this is a trope, right?
That's why I wasn't allowed to watch Married with Children.
Right.
My dad hated The Simpsons. I used
Right.
to sneak and watch that.
But think about it. Every time, like, there was a character on one of these shows who was having a baby, what was the trope always? It was like she wanted to get her husband to read this parenting book. Like that, they would have a fight about it because she's reading all these books about, she cares so much about being a good mother that she's reading all these books. And the fight was that, like, you don't care because you won't read these books. You know what I mean? Like that, I've seen that in so many shows.
Yeah.
But that's what you're talking about. Never able to come into ever learning, but never ever coming into the knowledge of the truth.
Yeah, but because it says these people who are, because the reason why he's talking about this, he says there are people who are going to come in these last days,
Yeah.
right? And they're proud, they're lovers of money, they're selfish,
Yeah.
they're arrogant, they're abusive, they're disobedient, right? And even like what he's saying,
Sounds like Sexy Red.
what that guy is saying,
Yeah.
it's actually abuse in a way.
Yeah.
Because if there are words that are perverted, right, and you're using it, and especially like how many people are listening to this,
Yeah.
right? Now that might not be his intention, but it's a form of abuse because that's what bad care is.
Jess said I wasn't allowed to watch those shows either, babe. Oh, shout out to Theris, said hello fam, and Emma is on there, said greetings guys. What's up, Emma? Theris, appreciate y'all, Young Lions.
So are we?
Chiming in.
I was thinking about this. I think I was talking to Mom. Think about this. Obedience. If we're a disobedient kid, is a disrespectful kid. Is a dishonorable kid.
Dishonest too.
Dishonest, but those are the main things because they're a kid that doesn't want to submit. It's a rebellious kid, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with a wife. But
because wives are like our kids, I get it. See where you went there.
No, that's not what I mean.
I'm with you.
It's not what I mean.
Dang, we making some clips tonight, there, boy.
I know. I'm just joking, y'all. I'm joking, all right?
But what I am saying is that think about atheism.
Yeah.
An atheist.
All
an atheist is a rebellious kid. Right?
Yeah.
It's a rebellious kid because a rebellious kid is a disrespectful, unappreciative kid. Right? not
Doesn't want to submit to
understanding
authority.
what came before them,
Right.
and why they can do all the things that they can do, and how they've been platformed to be able to do what they can do.
Right.
Right. That is a disrespectful kid, and so many atheists. Atheists to me is like soft witchcraft, because witchcraft is rebellion.
Softcore witchcraft. I like that.
soft
Softcore
core
witchcraft, bro. I like that.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Like, right?
yeah.
Because it's like, it's ignorant witchcraft.
Yeah.
You're in witchcraft, but you're ignorant of your devices.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it actually makes it worse.
Yeah.
But the deeper the witchcraft, the deeper the rebellion.
Right.
Right? The more you get into the further you go from God to where you trying to become your own God.
Yeah.
The more advanced you get in the
In
craft.
the craft. Yeah. Right.
of playing God, right?
Because you
And
don't. It's not you trying to become. You really believe you're your own God when you get deep into the witchcraft realm.
Those are the people that say I'm spiritual.
No, it's even worse than that.
Yeah.
It's people that believe that there's no consequences to their actions. They can do whatever they want. That's what
who's
when it
that
gets
dude?
real dark. Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
Or Anton LaVey.
Yeah, Anton LaVey is another one.
But what was...
I think he's the one. No, not Anton LaVey. Wasn't him.
No, because Anton LaVey came way later.
Yeah, he's way
But
later.
Anton LaVey, what did they say about Satanism? Like that type of Satanism. It's not real Satanism.
Right.
But when
it's anarchy, really.
it's actually atheism.
Right.
But when you really look at it, no, they were into some heavy duty witchcraft. Right. That's a whole nother podcast.
Cousin
Shout out. Yeah, go ahead. Our little cousin, man.
He said, "Yerp."
Yerp. What up, cuz? So let's keep going through these topics. Get this going. So I want to move on to there was Kendrick Lamar released a project, right? And everything kind of went crazy on the internet because he made a verse where he was ripping J. Cole and Drake because apparently Drake and J. Cole did a song that was a shot at him. You know how hip hop is. So Jake sent me this video. I didn't even know that this happened, but it's J. Cole actually coming out and basically apologizing for his actions. And the reason why we're playing this.
Well, he came out with a diss against Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
J. Cole came out with this.
But were you talking about that? Which one was it? Which one is he apologizing for?
No. This is what happened. I only know because I had to look at it. Because I didn't know none of this. But so they did a song together. I think it was came out 3 months ago with Drake and
J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Yeah.
Nothing was really said. It was just, I think, for the simple fact that Kendrick doesn't like Drake whatsoever.
Yeah. But no, I think there was a point to them, what the song was about. They were basically saying that they were the two, best. There was nobody else. Something like that.
Yeah, well, that's what he said.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. I mean, I don't know all the details. All I know is that then J. Cole came out with a diss against Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
After he had...
After Kendrick came back.
Right.
Okay.
And he said... And we can go from there.
Okay. Let's pull it up.
Listen to it, and when it comes out and I see the talk, that don't sit right in my spirit. Trying to find a little angle and downplay his greatness. I want to say right now tonight, how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest to ever touch microphone? Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct? As do I. So I just want to come up here and be like, that was the lamest, goofiest shit. And it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray that God aligned me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that Kendrick really didn't feel no way. And if he did, my chin out. Take your best shot. I'm going to take that in the chin. Boy, do what you do. It's love. You know, I pray that y'all are forgive the misstep and then I can get back to my true path. Because I ain't going to lie to y'all. The past 2 days felt terrible. It let me know how good I've been sleeping for the past 10 years. So all of that to say, man, that's a reminder to me of getting back on the right path and getting in tune with God, because I want to do that for y'all right now. But at the
Yeah, I thought that was dope.
That is honorable, man.
That right there is something you do not see in hip hop.
Nope.
The ego, the narcissism will not allow people to step out there and apologize and say yo, that was dumb. That was corny. That was him saying that was the lamest thing, with getting into a beef with another rapper that is great. To me, And I tell this to people all the time when they say like, who are two artists that you could actually listen to now? And it's J. Cole and Kendrick. You know what I mean? Because
I've heard you say that numerous times.
Because they are actually really talented rappers, and they are trying to say something every now and then, even though you can be misguided at times. But especially J. Cole, because I've always felt that he was on a path to try to like figure things out and use what he's saying for a purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some honorable stuff that both of them do.
Yeah.
I don't agree with a lot of what they do.
Yeah,
that's
of course.
why I don't really listen to their music.
Yeah,
especially Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
but yeah, you got like I wanted to bring this up because instead, well, let me say this: he got a lot of backlash.
Yeah,
for doing that.
A lot of people were clowning him.
Of course.
You know,
they're saying like this ain't you.
Well,
you corny.
Yeah. Because you know we grew up in the era of Biggie, and Tupac, Jay-Z, Nas.
Even before that, it was like Rakim and LL or Big Daddy Kane. Like rap was about battle.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Yeah.
Ja Rule
and 50 that
Cent,
was a huge one. Yeah,
we came up in that era.
Nas and Jay-Z.
That was like one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
So for us, it was always like, oh, you know, seeing that. But then you realize, like, man, this. And the thing was, I remember I heard his diss before he said anything. I'm like, man, it just brought me back to that Jay-Z and Nas stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, like, it's so dumb that they're going back and forth, and it creates such a toxic environment.
Yeah.
And nobody wins, really. Right. And then you have even like what makes it worse are the people who are fighting for them, like their fans.
Yeah.
You know? Like, because it becomes this whole battle because who's the best, and it's like even all that stuff a lot of times is so subjective. How many people will talk about the best MCs, the best rappers?
Yeah. That is
such
thing
a dumb thing
in hip hop about like who's the best, ranking your top 5, like pitting people against each other and making them feel like it's an ever competition. You know, that's something that as a culture we need to shift. We need to change because you don't see that in other genres of music.
No,
right?
You don't.
Even in terms of like talent is cool,
right?
Don't get me wrong. But you can be the most talented person and be so messed up on the inside.
Yeah.
So, and how many people, and that's what we're doing in this America. We set people up to knock them down.
Yeah.
How many artists that we even know behind the scenes, right? How many artists have been knocked down to the point where they don't know what's up or down,
right?
You know,
or killed.
Died.
I mean, we're
people
talking
have
about
died over
We're
this.
talking about the best MCs.
Yeah.
Like people put Biggie and Tupac on that top 5 list, and because of this beef thing.
Well, we don't know now. There's a lot of stuff coming out.
I've been seeing. There's a lot of speculation about Diddy being involved with
with both of them,
both of their deaths.
Yeah.
You know,
but just that culture of like. We need to figure, even like this new wave of the verses thing that has kind of like popped off.
Yeah.
It's only in this culture.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's always about who's better. And then even when you see certain ones, I think it was like the Locks and somebody, and like they're acting like they want to fight on stage. Actually, people did, remember with Bone Thugs? They actually did fight, you know, like
really?
Bone Thugs and I think 3-6 Mafia, they got into a fight in the verses. Like, it's just, it becomes crazy. It's nonsensical, and it just continues this culture of chaos. I want to show this clip because it made me think of this. I saw this the other day on Twitter, and this is back in the day. We're talking about other cultural music stuff. This is Mick Jagger, and they're interviewing him. This is right around the time when the Rolling Stones were starting to blow up, and the Beatles were like the biggest thing in the world. And they're trying to get Mick Jagger to talk trash on the Beatles.
Hold on.
How do you...
Eric said, I think hip-hop at one time was a sport. LOL.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of was looked at that way.
Compare your group with the Beatles.
I don't know. How do you compare it with the Beatles? I don't compare it at all. You know, there's no point.
Well, let's get right down to brass tacks. Do you think you're better than they are?
Oh, what? You know, it's not the same group, so we just do what we want and they do what they want, and there's no point in going on and comparing us. So you can prefer us to them or them to us. This is diplomatic, you see.
Very diplomatic, and I don't want to labour it, but do you feel you do what you want to do better than they do what they want to do?
Yes. Probably. I don't know. I don't know what they want to do, you see. Very diplomatic.
You see, like, he trying to get him to talk trash, trying to create this beef.
Yeah.
Because why? Because it generates money for them. It generates the public outrage. They can make so much content off of that, you know. And I think hip hop allows itself to be used in that way a lot more, you know. But just seeing how, like, even though he was probably, he had an opportunity there to probably make them look bad, talk about how they're not really musicians, you know what I mean? Like, he could have trashed them, but he didn't. Why? What's the point of that? You know, and if we had that mentality more in this culture where it's like, we need to lift each other up. There's enough space for everybody. Everybody can have their own fan base. Some of us will have overlap fans, and that's cool. That's great. Let's work together on that.
Yeah.
But this idea that we have to say who's better than who.
Yeah. I mean, I remember growing up, like, and just doing, like, selling our CDs in the malls, and you know, we started to get popular in our area.
Yeah.
And people, we would hear later on, like, there would be groups that were at war with us.
Yes, that we didn't even know about.
They were at war with us, like, because that was the mentality, right?
We were like, dee-dee-dee.
Yeah.
And then we would hear from them, like, the group, like, here later on, man, we couldn't stand y'all. Like, really?
I remember not long, like a few months ago, somebody telling me, oh, I ran into such and such, and he said he knows you. And they said they were in a group back when y'all was selling CDs, and they said that they were like y'all biggest competition. And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And we never really thought of it in that way. Like, we were always just like, because it was hard for us anyway, like, in terms of,
man, we were struggling. We was grinding so hard just to.
But I'm just saying, like, we never, like, really fit into anything. So it was like we were always just, and always trying to find out, like, well, what do we want to do next?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but it was always that it was a competition, and it's the comparison. Like, no, we're who we are.
Yeah.
We don't got to be anybody else.
Right.
And even learning that and being free in that, like, it took a while.
Took a long time
for us to be like, not care about what people think.
Right.
And, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool, man. I didn't even know that J. Cole did that, but that, you know, big up to him for being a change, trying to be a change in the culture.
And he even said it. He even said he was listening to people.
Yeah. Telling his boys were telling him, "Oh, what you gonna do?" Yeah. And you feel that pressure where it's like you gotta respond or else you're weak. You know, you're soft.
Yeah.
Which that's not true at all.
Nope.
It's a lie.
David Rodriguez said, "Cole World is humble and shows empathy. When an artist in hip hop can do that, this day and age, it goes a long way. #respect."
Yeah, facts.
We got a song for that.
Do we?
Yeah.
What's it called?
People keep telling me to get up and fight.
Oh, yeah. Let it die.
Let it
What's
die.
the use in fighting when I don't believe the lies?
I don't believe the lie.
Let it die.
Eric said battle rap was fun, though. I remember we were at a party with an open mic. Yeah, that was, remember that? But see, that's different. Like, battling in, like, that sense where it's just like, you're not really battling. You're just kind of going around in the cypher. Everybody's taking a turn.
Yeah.
You know, when it turns into like
we
want to fight each other, or we're making fun of each other, or we got to show, you know, like the whole concept of what battle rap is now, where it's like the 8 Mile thing, where it's like I got to trash you and make everybody go, oh, like that is just
Well,
corny.
I sent you guys a video. I don't know if you saw it, Moon. I think you saw it, Jamie. And it was this woman, and she's in a gym, and it looked like a hotel gym or something, right? And she's in this small gym area, and she's skating.
Yeah, she's
like,
doing her skate workout.
And she's
like
got
roller
I
skates.
didn't get a chance to watch it.
And she got a video. She got a tripod up.
It's one of them Joey Swole videos.
Joey Swole.
You know, the guy who's a TikToker who he makes fun of all the people that are filming in gyms and getting mad and and putting people out there.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've seen some of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like putting this guy out there because he's just walking by trying to work out.
Yeah.
And she has to stop skating.
And she's posting like, "Are you serious?" Like, let's like
Yeah.
she's getting an attitude because she's blocking the way to the weights, and he's just walking by to get equipment,
Yeah.
But he's getting in her shot. And you see this in gyms all the time now. It's like people set up these tripods,
Right.
And they think like I'm filming content, and anyone who walks in the path is, rude or disrespectful.
But not just that. Then they like zoom in on them.
Yeah.
And they presuppose that they're looking at them,
yeah.
or
They accuse them of
they're-
being creepy, things like that. Yeah.
or making fun of the way somebody's working out.
Mhm.
It doesn't know. It just becomes you're trying to shame somebody.
Yeah.
Right. And it becomes a part of the culture. And so I bring it back to that. It's the
Mhm.
same mentality.
Right.
Right. It's about oh, let me shame them. Let me show this. Because it's worse now. Like
Yeah.
before, it just like when we were young, it was just our boys, right? But now, and remember some of the stuff we would do. Like, remember we were in the car one time. Somebody threw not gonna say who, but somebody threw
milkshake on somebody, yeah.
who was just walking by.
Yeah.
Right, like stuff like, and it's like funny, but it's not really
It's
funny.
not funny.
It's not.
Like. To me, I like in the car, like, dude, why would you do
That's
that?
messed
And
up,
if somebody did that to you, yeah, you would be mad.
Right, but it's this mentality,
Right.
and this culture that you think it's okay to laugh at somebody else's expense.
Right. Yep.
And that's what's being cultivated.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that needs to be cut out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to a comedy show and you know the comic is a roaster, then you you're going into it embracing.
Mm-hmm.
You probably stopped hanging out with that guy, right?
Yeah. He knows who he is.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna play one more video. And I gotta ask a question. Do you guys think that you can trick God?
No.
Like
Trick God?
yeah, like if God says
Is this a trick
commandments, like he gives
question?
commandments and he says, don't do this, don't do that. Do you think that you can like trick God and say, well, I didn't actually do it?
Well, God knows your heart,
Right.
so you can't trick God.
Because I see this like pattern with like a certain group of people that they have these rules on a certain time of the week where they can't do certain things, but they find all these other ways around it, right? So I just wanted to play this because I thought this was kind of funny. Watch this. Pull this up, Mom, please. Up.
This is not a loophole. This is how we make coffee on Sabbath to not transgress. Take a look. We pour the coffee or put the coffee in the cup, but we cannot pour the water directly on it. So we have another cup that pumps. We don't use the electric presser or dispenser. We pump it out. This water has been heating for a long time. We take this water and pour it over into that cup of coffee. And from there, if you want, you can pour your sugar inside. 1, 2, I'm extra sweet. 3, that's not a biblical commandment. You mix. Am Yisrael Chai. Whoa, that's hot. Now, the reason is because we don't cook on Shabbos, pouring boiling water onto these coffee kernels, if you call them. That's cooking. Halacha says, Jewish law says, that the pot that the water was boiling has the power when it's poured to actually cook. And we don't cook, so we pour it into another cup. From this cup, the second cup, we can pour it in, and thereby making sure we don't transgress a biblical commandment. A lot of these are not.
Bruh. That's a lot. And I've seen these videos a lot where like they come up with these clever ways to turn off the lights without actually touching them, or like doing all these
That
things.
seems like a little bit of satire, don't you think? No?
No, he's serious.
He's dead serious?
Yes. He's dead serious. He's dead serious.
That just reminds me of the Mormon children. I think we might have talked about it before on here, where they do everything they can't have sex, but when they're dating, but they do everything else.
Yeah.
What's that called? Is they call it something?
I don't know what it's called. I don't know.
So there's a 1 Corinthians 2:14. The natural person, and this is the natural person, all right? Or you could say the carnal person. The natural person does not accept the things of the Spirit of God, for they are folly to him. And he is not able to understand them because they are spiritually discerned. The spiritual person judges all things, but he himself is to be judged by no one. For who has understood the mind of the Lord? Like, that's what we're talking about, right? Who has understood the mind of the Lord so as to instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ. So us as believers, there's a difference in terms of we can understand the heart of God.
Right.
Right? Because our nature changes. You're born. That's what being born again means. You're born again. Jesus says in John 3, he says that those who are born again are born from above. The only way you're going to be able to see the kingdom of heaven is to be born from above. Right?
Yeah.
So you can't see, you don't understand the workings of the kingdom. You don't understand its meaning. You don't understand its essence. You don't understand when he wrote this commandment, what did he mean? So you missed the point. You missed the mark. Right? You keep missing it because our minds, our carnal minds or our natural minds, our old nature wants to figure out a way where it can stay in that place where it fulfills its own desire.
Right.
But we're learning through our new nature not how to fulfill our desire, but how to fulfill God's desire. And that's a battle. That's a war. You know what I mean? But I think like where they're coming from is that natural mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Let's show this other example I found real quick.
So stupid.
Orthodox Jews are not allowed to use electricity on Shabbos. This means that we cannot turn on and off lights, but we can benefit if the light is already on. Kosher Innovations created this Shabbos lamp. Let me show you how it works. The light is already on. All you have to do is turn it to access the light. This is permissible to use on Shabbos because the light always remains on. I'm just turning the cover to access the light or not. And Kosher Innovations recently launched their new Shabbos lamp. It's called the Kosher Lamp 360. Let me show you how it works. They named it 360 because unlike this Shabbos lamp that only gives off light in one direction, this new lamp gives off light in any direction. This is their highest setting. They also have a medium and low setting. And to make sure that the lamp doesn't slide around on your countertop, there's a little tab that you pull off and it sticks and stays in place. I love the sleek, compact look.
It's pretty inventive. It's pretty inventive.
Yeah.
Loopholes, boy.
Yeah.
Loopholes.
Pretty inventive. The guy's saying you don't have to do any of that.
Well, what does he say? Jesus said it. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So we're trying to live. That's the thing. We're always trying to live up to something and prove ourselves to something that we don't understand. We don't get it. We don't understand the point. It's like a child. Like, the father knows. Oh, you don't get it yet.
Right.
The father knows.
If we see a kid trying to figure out loopholes so that they could say they're being obedient without really being
You're not being obedient.
Right.
The point of being obedience is so you can grow into the wisdom of the Father.
Right.
That's it. You know what I mean? So if you haven't grown into that, well, you're not ready.
When you see your kids trying to find little thing, you laugh and you're like, no.
Right.
You're like, no.
But once
stop
they
it.
get
You're
it,
like,
you're like, okay, you're ready for the next.
Yeah.
I can give you more responsibility. You know.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I thought that was funny. All right. You want to get into these other videos?
Hey, we got more?
We don't have to.
A little late.
Yeah, it's late. We started late.
It's like 10:30.
My mom said, nah. Nah, that's all I'm asking. Because we've only been live for less than, it hasn't been long, but we did start late. So, yeah. Let's wrap it up there then. Thank you guys for watching. As always, we appreciate you. Shout out to everybody who is on Rumble, who's on Twitch, who's on Twitter, who's on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you guys share this video. Hit the like button if you haven't done that already. Help us out with the algorithm. And don't forget, you can support what we do by going over to Patreon, patreon.com/youngliontv. Sign up over there to become a member for as little as $3 a month, where you can support these type of conversations, where we're just trying to bring this to the forefront so people can, not always just talk about dumb stuff. They could talk about stuff that matters, and we can continue to grow the community that we have here of the Young Lions and the pride of the Young Lions. And don't forget, if you want to get some merch, head on over to jatan.com/shop, where you can get our new Grateful merch, and also the Young Lion merch is available on there as well. And we got a new song coming out on Friday.
Yeah.
Shout out to the band. We got our cover of the Peter Gabriel classic, In Your Eyes, coming out on Friday. We're excited about that. We've been covering that song for years now, and finally decided to record it and put it out and just, see if the people like it. So make sure you guys go stream that on Friday. It's coming out. And we'll be in touch about some shows we got coming up and a lot more stuff coming. We appreciate everybody for watching. Again, thank you guys for being here. And we'll see you guys next week, man. Peace.
Young Lion, go live, yeah. Young Lion, you